All right, guys. What is going on? What is good? Today is Wednesday, September 6th, 2023. Markets are ripping faces today, at least for the indices here in the US. So that's always nice when you exit a short right before the big move. You know what I mean? Like shorting and then getting out and then watching it absolutely demolish. It's always nice, right? It's always nice, right? But it's cool. You win some, you lose some, and then you miss some. What are you going to do? That's why I almost always tell you guys to leave a partial on because of this right here. So, you know, it is what it is. We live and we learn. Well, we do live. We don't always learn, but hopefully we do learn. Know what I'm saying? Was good, Naruto. Was good, Sean. Mari is from Germany. Good evening to you as well. Was good, 2020. Andreas, Kevin. Where's everyone else at? Where's everyone else at? What happened? Where'd everybody go? Where did everybody go? That's the question. Where they at? I don't know. But anyway. Very, very strong reaction from that imbalance up here. Very, very interesting. Again, this daily imbalance here on August 29th, I believe that was pointed out. I think we talked about that yesterday. You know, saying that the market moves from what? Imbalance to imbalance, right? That's one of them. So you can see that here on the S&P, as well as the others. The Dow actually has this gap down here. Pretty sure. So we have traded into that. Eesh. Looks atrocious right there. So what do we do from here? I don't know, man. I don't know. But I will tell you this. I think there's a chance we could get a reversal today. I don't know. They look very, very weak. I mean, they look terrible. I mean, they look awful. However, I want to say it was the S&P. Just noticed that. Anyway, 4469 has equal highs, and then we have 4494 that has equal highs as well. So I think it was PMI earlier today at 9 o'clock, about 3 hours ago. So hopefully you didn't get your face ripped off from news. And I'm saying if we do bottom here and we start to trade higher, I think this could be an easy target on an intraday basis. All right, so we have the rest of the afternoon between now and the next 3 hours. So there's the afternoon session start. I don't know if that would entirely set our low. And there's your final hour, 2 to 3. So there's your timing window. There's a possible upside target, but I would be very careful with this. I'd be very careful. I don't even know what to think about this. I don't know. So we'll go take a look at some currencies as well, and probably the gold and silver market in addition to that. I was going to tweet something earlier today. I was going to message the Discord as well, but it was like maybe 5 minutes before the news, so I don't think anybody would have, really seen it in time anyway. But I guess I'll briefly talk about what I look for news events, and then go from there. What's good, Ibrahim? Good morning. It's like afternoon time, unless it's morning for you. I don't know. Anyway, we'll keep an eye on this. What I want to look at is, I think it was USD CAD of all pairs. But if you look at it, we had lows here, down in this area from Tuesday. Clean lows right here at 136.24. One more short-term low on Wednesday. And then, so that was taken prior to the news. You see that? So I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to short that. I would rather long up to these highs here. So the news ended up actually sending it up there instead, and then actually tagged London's high as well, and then traded lower. So I didn't want to long that. And then, of course, inevitably, it does trade higher again there. So that's always interesting. So USD CAD upside there was good. Stasco, welcome to the Tier 3 membership. I saw you got started today. Welcome. Was good, Christopher? With Euro, I think it was. Yeah. Kind of a similar story on Euro where we had these lows here. I did want to short, but I didn't. Right? Because it's like, okay, if we trade higher first and then break down to go lower, that would be ideal. And that's pretty much what I saw for Australian dollar. On just a little bit of a higher time frame though. So we left very clean equal lows for Australian dollar. So like, in my opinion, I would want to be shorting Australian dollar to go lower, but I don't know, something about where it's at right now, right in the middle of this current range, I wouldn't. And then on top of that, I think New Zealand actually ran a previous low here. I don't think it ran Tuesday's low, but it did run a previous low. So I think we're slightly mixed there, but at least that's a downside objective at some point for Australian dollar. Chris shorted cable. What's good, Beverly? What's good, Vadu? British pound. It didn't really have anything on the downside that I cared for, but it still traded lower. Like, all right, cool. So yeah. So as far as that goes, I mean, that's really all that I was looking for today. I was watching Australian dollar to see if we could short. I'm not shorting yet. And Euro just straight up ran to its target. And then USD CAD, same thing. It had ran to its target. Because what I would have rather wanted is rally and then retracement to go to the highs. But it just ran to the highs first. So it's like, okay, target's been met. Not doing anything with that. And so you just gotta just let it go. Just let it go. I mean, what's good, Alex? EG was showing strength, so and Europe was looking, or Euro was looking stronger than GU. That makes sense. Came back from summer job, ready to start trading again. Oh, nice. What'd you do over the summer? What did you do over the summer? Silver, I think, is at an interesting place today. I'm not gonna say that it's bullish from here. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it is at an interesting place, though. It's at this imbalance here on the daily time frame. So I think today could be important. Either we respect this to go higher, or if this breaks, then I would say that these lows are probably going to be on the table for silver. And then we would probably get below 22 again. And ideally, that's not what I would want. Personally, that's not what I would want. Gold, I don't know. All the gains that we watched have now been erased. So I think it's hard to say for gold. I don't know. I do not know, my friends. You are working with tulips in the Netherlands. Huh? Was good, Willow? Did I go over Dow already? No. I mean, kind of just a brief overview about how I fucking got out of my trade yesterday before this big dump. So, yeah. You know, it's like I shorted, all right, cool, and then I got out before the actual move insinuated. That's why I posted in the Discord over like 200% gains, I'm sure, at the low of like this candle here. Fucking missed out on that. So we're talking about contracts that were worth $120, $125 that are worth like 350, 380 maybe. I haven't looked at it. Shit, I don't want to fucking look at it. I don't want to look at what could have been. You know what I mean? But as far as what you may be able to use today, we might have set a low. We're at a daily gap. You have this down candle here, fractal low, based on where it's at now. Again, we only have about 2 hours and 43 minutes left in the session, but this could be somewhat responsive for today. And I did talk about SPY, specifically ES in the 4469 level. I literally just talked about that about 10 minutes ago. And I said if we start trading higher, that could be easily an upside target for today. And I wouldn't expect more than that. I mean, obviously like maybe 70, 72 or something like that, but I would not expect like 4,500 or 4,496. I wouldn't expect that today. I mean, we might be able to, but I'm not putting money on that. I would put money on this level here though. Man, I gotta stop eating before the stream. I gotta stop doing that. I was hungry, and I was more hungry for knowledge than I was for food. So I ate right before the stream. Shouldn't have done that. Again, same thing here, but on the futures side. So here's YM, and we have that daily gap there. You can see that price is actually right within that. So that will usually be fairly responsive for price. So, you know, now it's just about what are the targets? What is the setup, right? So that's like kind of what I'm waiting for. Nasdaq I do like as well, only because if we look at it, I don't think it respected this imbalance here, but we are below the low of Wednesday, August 30th. So we took that low here. So I could possibly see that being responsive for today as well. We had this 1 hour gap here from this morning. Again, that's that 9 o'clock news from earlier. So we could trade back up into that. We know the market trades from liquidity to imbalance. That could be on the table. Okay. But like I said, just be careful. You are essentially longing markets that are ass today. I mean, look how bearish they are today. All right. So just be mindful of that. I would also study how we got there. Look at these highs. They're not all the same. They're not all the same. Okay. You shorted Wells Fargo, had put an option closed. One contract entered yesterday. Oh, nice. Wells Fargo. Yeah, I longed that earlier this year, and that was that. I think I'm still long JP Morgan though. We're in the 144s. Oh, damn. Yikes. I did sell some up in here, but we have not got to the ultimate target that I wanted. Was the 160s, like this gap. I think I said 165. So that's fucked. In here, partialed out on the way up. I partialed somewhere in here as well. And then now we're back in the 144s. That's gross. That's gross. And then, yeah, Wells Fargo. That gap we pointed out earlier in the year, we tagged it. And then we're right back down to 40 again. That's rough. That's rough. But in all fairness, Wells Fargo's a dog shit bank. So, you know, no real surprise there. No real surprise. But hey, more power to you. for shorting for shorting a dog shit company. Where do you see the indices and the one? Oh shit, man, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not taking it that far. I don't usually try and do stuff that far out in advance, man. At least not for the indices. I used to when we were in bullish markets. Oh yeah, I was calling. It was ridiculous. But now that we're just in an interesting area, you got a lot of political bullshit going on too. So that kind of like shakes things up a little bit. Some uncertainty, just like an overall sense in, here in the U.S. So for me, it just doesn't seem like the greatest time for big money to be entering the market long. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't know exactly if this is true or not, but I know that it's been said that Warren Buffett is mostly cash. Apple has all this cash. And I think a lot of like big money like that is just sitting on cash and not, entering like bank stocks or maybe tech stocks or something like that. So I don't know. I'm a day trader almost always when it comes to the indices. So talking about 1 or 2 weeks from now is, I don't know. So I have to bias without entry. Market dropped without me. Yeah, well, Libre, that's gonna happen, man. That is gonna happen. I wish we would have made a more, not distinctive, but I just wish the lows down here that we made were just different. Like I would have wanted to see a divergence here somewhere. I don't know if you guys can see that. I know I got a bigger webcam now. But these are all just lower lows here. And whereas I would have wanted to see one of them maybe trade higher while the other two were lower. And I don't think we've seen that yet. I still think we could have made our low today based off of what I told you. I'll share that one more time because I know we got people that hop on and off here. If you go to the daily time frame for the Dow Jones, YM specifically, we are at a daily gap here, which is inside of this down candle as well. This would also be a discount between the range of this low and this high. So that could be significant either for today or maybe for this week. And excuse me. As far as upside objectives go on an intraday basis, I have no idea. I cannot tell you. But for ES, if we have made our low, 4469, 4470, there's some equal highs right there. So think about it. The market has been doo-doo all day, right? So shorts are killing it. They're uploading, or not uploading, they're loading up the Amazon cart, ready to cash out. So if they're taking their stops, where are they bumping them to? They're bumping them lower, right? So there's a low, or excuse me, bumping them to the highs. Sorry. There's a high here, and then these two equal highs here. That to me has got to be a high probability target for trailing stops. If I'm wrong on that, then I'm wrong. But hey, it's internal range liquidity. It's on the lower end of the range of today's range. So logically, it makes sense. You got the context, you got price. Now it's just the timing of it. Afternoon session, PM session. Are we going to get that, or is it going to make a new low? And I would have trusted this more so, again, like I mentioned, if we did something here with the other indices where one went lower, the other two went higher, like that, I'd be like, okay, I'm going long, right? That vibe I'm not getting. So I think if we do long here, it would be a little bit lower probability, in my opinion. Like this imbalance right here. Like if we long that could easily be a 1 to 3. Not financial advice. Don't ever take a trade that I'm looking at. Okay. Well, we may have to tighten the stop actually. 1 to 3 could be there. It's a little bit above those highs. And so that if that stopped, that would be at the lower end of this body here. So I mean, I could see that for this afternoon. But again, you have to weigh both sides of the market. Okay, you know, can we justify shorts? I'm probably not going to short this market after it's already moved 40, 45 points lower on the day. So I think it's a little bit late to short, personal opinion. Could we long? Well, yeah, we've got equal highs here. But can we make the case, like, if this fails, why would it fail? And I think that if it does fail, it's because the low here is not a low that I trust as much as relative strength. Does that make sense? So what I would do, again, I'm not telling you to take this trade. I'm not telling you that. But if you want to study and follow along, I would probably screenshot something like this. But I would have those notes over here, like off to the side. I'd say, okay, trailing stops, equal highs, Dow is in the daily gap. You know, it's just, we may not have set the low for today. You know? So like, I would not go full risk. I would probably take like half risk on something like this here. Does that make sense, everybody? And then a couple points above that high for the 1 to 3. SPY slightly different highs, but they would still act as the same thing. They would still act as like, oh, double top resistance or whatever. So that, again, I could easily see for today. Like even for myself, like even myself personally, I would screenshot this here. I'm gonna do that, and then I'll follow up with it later on tonight, or I mean the afternoon, really, because it's only 2.5 hours away. But the reason that I called the stream "Man's Search for Wisdom" because it's kind of a play on man's search for meaning, but for wisdom. So, you know, I've been reading books the last, I don't know, it's probably going on 3 years now. It's really more so like 4, but I didn't really get intense until about 2.5 years ago. And one thing that I think what has made me gravitate towards Stoic philosophy is that that's essentially what they were trying to do, is find wisdom, right? I mean, philosophy itself is the love of wisdom. Now, where things get difficult, I think there are certain levels of, I don't want to say complexity. I mean, there's levels of complexity, but I'm saying levels of depthness, maybe. What I mean is, when you get into wisdom, or you seek knowledge hoping to obtain wisdom, right? Because there's a difference. You know, knowledge is knowing, wisdom is doing, right? Wisdom is experience, okay? And I think a lot of the practical advice in the personal development space, Stoic philosophy space, self-help, whatever, I think a lot of it overlaps with each other. And I even think that religions, there's a lot of overlap there as well. I mean, easy example, the golden rule, right? Treat everyone how you want to be treated. I mean, that's pretty much in 99% of the religions in the world, right? And, you know, some other practical ideas. Oh, yeah, seek to become wise. Don't be an idiot. Things of that nature. A lot of that overlaps. What changes is when you go more in depth on what some of those things actually mean. you know, and especially if you get religious, you know, that's where the more in detail you get, that's where religions start to separate. Oh, well, this person or that person or this God or that God or no God or whatever. So for someone like me, I like reading Stoic philosophy because of how practical it is, right? And but also some of the philosophers go really, really in depth. So there's a page I posted earlier in our Discord, and it was from The Imitation of Christ by Thomas Kempis. So I think it's pretty solid so far. I'm only on, I think, almost page 25 or 30, but I went back and reread the first few pages because I had read it a few months ago. I wanted a refresher, and so I started highlighting stuff, and I came across that, and I went, "Oh, this is easily shareable." So, but if you, if like, if you have a certain religion or you have religious beliefs, and you know Jesus or the Bible isn't your thing, you're probably not going to like this book. Okay, so I'll tell you that. But it's funny because I heard a lot of Stoic ideas in here as well. Now, so Thomas Kempis, let me see, was 1380 to 1471. Oh shit, he made it to 90 something years old. Anyway, and I could hear Marcus Aurelius in his words, you know what I mean? Or like even that example I shared, how we should be disciplining ourselves because if we can't do small things, how can we do big things, right? And that was something that Seneca said about 1300 years prior, you know? We could enjoy much peace if we were not bothered by what other people say and do, for they are no concern of ours. That's Marcus Aurelius, you know? Let's see what else is in here that I've highlighted. Oh, maybe I'm caught up already. Oh, I guess that's all I got so far. All right. Well, anyway, the point is a lot of wisdom overlaps between philosophers, thinkers throughout history, and things like that. So this is why I love this stuff, though, because it's one thing to hear an idea from one person, but if a lot of people are saying it, then I think it has the possibility to hold more weight or more merit, especially the older it is. So yeah, I got some great quotes from this book so far, and a lot of it is obviously related to Christ and God, but some of the ideas don't necessarily mention either one. There's a portion where he says, "Stay away from public meetings as much as you can, for even with the best of intentions, discussion of mundane matters can be a distraction, as we are easily corrupted and ensnared by vanity." Seneca also said that, right? Seneca said, "Stay away from large crowds because you become like the people that you surround yourself with." And if the crowd at the Roman Colosseum, they're calling for, you know, blood and killing and all this stuff, and that's going to rub off on you. And then here we have Thomas Kempis, you know, same thing. Stay away from large crowds. He's like, I regret majority of the time that I was around a lot of other people like that. This is what he said, or what I just told you, but he continues and said, "I often wish that I had remained silent and had not been with others." And he talks about gossiping and stuff like that. Obviously, not to gossip about people and stuff like that, because really it's a waste of energy and so on and so forth. So, yeah, I think it's pretty good so far. It has actually really good reviews as well. If you go on Amazon and you look up The Imitation of Christ, really good reviews. So I'm not the only one. But again, my point is just, it's great. I think it's solid. This is what it looks like, by the way, if you haven't seen it. And I think it's Portrait of Philippe de Croix. I don't know. I think it's French or something. But anyway, this is what the cover looks like. So if you want to pick up a copy, you definitely can. And it's pretty good. So Searching for Wisdom, man, is awesome. You know, I don't want to just read like one or two or like 5 or 6 different authors. I want to read a bunch of different authors, different perspectives. But I guess if I had to make one point clear in today's discussion is that when you see a repeating phenomenon throughout different authors, even if they didn't know each other, it's like, okay, these people still got to the same conclusions. Different periods of history, different belief systems, different cultures, and they still came to the same ideas. You know? So obviously those are probably worth looking into. So yeah. That was about it for that whole discussion. You know, just read books, man. I try to get you guys to read. You know? Matter of fact, let's do that real quick. In the chat, you let me know what book you're reading right now. Doesn't matter if it's book of the month. It doesn't matter if it's a book that I recommended. Just anything. Let me know what you're reading. I want to know. Besides the Daily Stoic. What are y'all reading? Too Big to Fail by Andrew Ross. Is that about like the Lehman Brothers? That whole 2008, 2009 housing market crash? Or is that something different? That's what it sounds like, but I don't have that one. Bob Proctor, Born Rich. Very nice. I think I have a copy of The Secret, but I don't think I have anything specifically by Bob Proctor. It's changed my life in such a short amount of time. I've actually been applying it, and it has been increasing my well-being. Oh, that's awesome, Beverly. That's awesome. I would agree. No, Stoic philosophy is great. You know, some people might think like, "Oh, what's wrong?" I'm like, "There ain't nothing wrong. I'm just chilling. Just chilling, man. Enjoying life." Oh man, if we were not on stream today, I'd be outside right now. The lake is very calm. They got rid of the fountain for some reason. I don't know if it's like under repairs or they just said, fuck it, we don't need a fountain anymore. I don't know. But when the fountain is off in the morning time, the water is very calm and it's beautiful. You can see the reflection of the other houses and the sky and shit. Looks great. Sky and stuff. Sorry. It looks great. Magnificent. Letting go the Pathway of Forgiveness by David R. Hawkins. That sounds interesting. The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robin Sharma. I have that one too. I have 2 copies of that one. The first one I got a used copy. The last 20 pages were ripped out. So I couldn't finish it, so I bought a new copy. Can't give the old one away because it's missing pages. It's right here. It's right next to me, my friends. The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. I have quite a few highlights in here as well. And some of these are even Stoic ideas. Matter of fact, I think he might even have quoted Epictetus in here. If I remember correctly. I don't remember. Page 46. No matter what happens to you in your life, you alone have the capacity to choose your response to it. When you form the habit of searching for the positive in every circumstance, your life will move into its highest dimensions. This is one of the greatest of all natural laws. Right. We don't control what happens to us, but we control how we respond. Who does that sound like? You know what I'm saying? Stoic philosophy is everywhere, my friend. He quotes Winston Churchill. Pretty good example. I wouldn't call Winston Churchill a philosopher, but he definitely knew some stuff though. I was trying to see because I may not have highlighted it. Kaizen, I think that's a Japanese word. Damn, one of the pages just fucking fell out. Look at that shit. Ain't that something? Well, there's already 20 pages missing. What's one more? Huh. What the fuck is one more? Look, chat. It goes from page 170 to 191. What am I supposed to do with that? What am I supposed to do with that? But anyway, Stoic ideas, Epictetus specifically. So, hey man, Stoic philosophy is everywhere. I read a book about healing the inner child and understanding subconscious beliefs from the past. That's interesting. I can see how that's beneficial. Meditations, oh yeah. Marcus Aurelius, fantastic book. Recently started to read The Power of Habit, Why We Do What We Do in Life and Business. Power of Habit. I don't think I have that one. Unless it's by Charles Duhigg. I have that one, The Power of Habit. And Badass Habits by Jen Sincero. And then a couple other business ones, or not discipline ones. That's actually going to be my next post on my wall shelf page. Is female authors, actually. I got to put together a stack of books that are written by all female authors. I mean, I don't have to, but I want to. Recently started to, oh yeah, I just read that. Coach Wooden's Pyramid of Success by John Wooden. Yeah, no, that sounds interesting because I only know John Wooden, however you say it, because of John C. Maxwell. He quotes John Wooden like every book he has. It must be like a contract or something. Like I have to put in a quote from John Wooden. He was a basketball coach, right? A basketball coach or football? It might have been, I feel like it's basketball. Y'all know me, I don't watch sports anymore, so I don't know. I take meditations with me everywhere. I try to tell everyone about it. Yeah. Matter of fact, not that I'm going to dive too deep into my personal life, okay? But a friend of mine, the one who got married in January, Catherine, I met a mutual friend. I'm not going to say her name, but she lives fairly close to me. And so she had posted something, and I think it was a quote by Marcus Aurelius. So I instantly started typing up a message. I'm like, oh, you read Meditations? You know Marcus Aurelius? And, long story short, I basically I'm like, look, there's a coffee spot right by my house. I can show you all my philosophy books. You know what I mean? We can go over Meditations. I can show you some Stoic philosophy, and it's awesome. And I think you would enjoy it. She's into like fitness. Okay. Obviously, the only fitness I do is fitness pizza in my mouth. You know what I'm saying? I read that somewhere. But yeah, no, I know she's disciplined. So I was like, I figured you would probably like Stoic philosophy. And yeah. Rizanachi, you know what I mean? That should have been my Instagram. I need to take that before someone else takes it. I don't know. Should get that tatted on me or something. Anyway, enough of my bullshit. We need to see what's taking place over here. Not too much yet. 12, 12, and 12. Okay, never mind. I thought the lows might not have been lined up, but they are. Afternoon, John. Oh, what's good, Stephanie? UCLA men's basketball. Yeah, see, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Former head coach, football of Florida State University. Wait, so he did both? So he coached football and basketball? Or am I tripping? I don't know. I have no idea, brothers and sisters. I have no idea. A lot of overlapping appointments this week. It's all good. All good. We were just talking a little bit about wisdom, obtaining wisdom, and how, number one, a lot of ideas in the personal development space the last 100 years, a lot of it is Stoic philosophy, just put differently, worded differently. And I think it's cool. Only because of the connection. I don't think it's cool to not quote the philosophers directly, though, especially since it's that old. I mean, come on. If anything, you should want to be like, oh yeah, by the way, this shit is 2,000 years old. You know, like that should be something worth noting. But, you know, I can only control what I can, right? So, but that sounds like a title of a good book, doesn't it? Man's Search for Wisdom. That sounds like a sick title. I'd read that. Something like Man's Search for Wisdom. I don't know. The greatest insights to human behavior the last 2,500 years, or some shit like that. I'd buy that. I'd read that. I most definitely would. Matter of fact, chat, I think we talked about that a couple weeks ago. Didn't I say if somebody took just the greatest pieces of wisdom from every school of thought and put that into one book, like that would probably be incredible insight. Someone needs to do that. It ain't gonna be me, but someone needs to do that. That definitely sounds very, very interesting. And I'm starting to think that it may not hit that imbalance down there. Unless we left some lows behind. Which is what that looks like. So a lot of the times you might have an imbalance that it's not going to come back into. But I think the better part about this one here is that this imbalance is below these lows here. However, if we gravitate up and above to the 70s before we get there, I think that would disqualify this as a long, in my opinion. Like I would no longer be interested in this specific level. Does that make sense? Yeah, it ain't gonna be me, Beverly. It ain't gonna be me. Dow makes lower lows at 1 p.m. The Dow's moving lower. I mean, they pretty much all bottoms right at 12 central right here. They all made a low right at 12. I mean, these all have lower lows. Nasdaq, they all have like lower lows. Oh, are you talking about this? You're talking about right here. So that would be more easily seen on like a 1 minute. You're talking about like I think I can't tell if that's flat or higher. And you're saying Dow makes a lower low here while the other indices are higher. That's what you're telling me? Yeah, that could be easily a possibility. I think that's seen right here at 12:40. Well, 12:40 my time, 1:40 probably. You're probably Eastern. We have a higher low on S&P. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Nasdaq hit a similar imbalance. Did it? Oh, yes, it did. Or let me see. This was 12:10. This was 12:10. Oh, you're right. You are right. That right there. I'd agree. I would agree, but I don't like any of these targets though. Like this to me is all trend line liquidity probably. I mean, which could work, but I trust equal highs more than probably anything else. Equal highs and equal lows I trust more than like some of my own friends, okay? Like they're so easy to me. I trust that. You know? I trust that. I noticed an overlap between certain aspects of Zen Buddhism and Stoicism when I was reading a martial arts book. Very interesting. Those who know the way it shows itself, many disciplines. You know, there's a book I saw the other day. It came out recently. I think it's like $26. And it was, let me see if I can find it actually. Something about some shit with jujitsu. I don't know if I'll be able to find it unless I look through my history. And I'm not going to show you my history on Amazon because I think that's going to raise more questions than it would answer. So we're going to skip that. How do you spell jujitsu, chat? Lord, I have enough trouble trying to spell in English. Oh, I found it. Look at that. It's called The 32 Principles by Renier Gracie and Paul Volponi. Anyway, the 32 Principles, harnessing the power of jujitsu to succeed in business, relationships, and life. It only has 18 ratings, but has 4.9 stars. So I could definitely see me reading this one. I got my card over there too, so I can't show you my screen. I go show you what's in my cart. But I gave it a title. And thank you, Chad. I found it. I typed in something similar to what you wrote and then went over to the book side and I found it. Was good, Katarina? Caught traffic? Yeah, nothing wrong with that. More time for audiobooks, in my opinion. Do the micros have that? Yeah, the micros have that same shit here too. Okay. So we keep watching this for a bit. So I think that is kind of a tight stop, but if you do 44, 49 and a half up to 45 and a half, that's 6 points. So that means this would be 18. So risking 6 to make 18. Okay. So that would be risking 300 to make 900 per contract. I mean, that sounds pretty good. That sounds pretty good to me. Nice, nice risk reward. But again, is what I'm showing you on the screen the highest probability trade that there is here? I don't know. Could be shaky. Could be shaky, my friends. But yeah, you guys are reading some interesting books, though. I like it. I like it. And hopefully, if you're not a reader, that you become one soon. I hope you become one soon. So I think we covered all of our bases today. We went over a couple of different things, looked at a couple of different assets. I don't really have anything else. You guys have any questions? Or any assets that you're looking at? The dollar index captured some monthly highs today. Yeah, it did. I think we mentioned that yesterday. That 104.70 level. I think we talked about that yesterday, how we had traded to that. You do have this gap over here as well, up at the 105.30s. So, yeah, I guess we'll have to see. That dollar rallying is to me what is also putting, I don't want to say pressure, I don't think that's the right word, but dollar higher, indices lower. So there's a little bit of intermarket analysis for you. Let's take a look at Australian dollar and British pound. Well, I think British pound is ass right now. I would not long British pound here. I'm just going to put an alert there. The Australian dollar, I wanted to short, but I don't really care for the setup. Like, I don't care about any of this shit right here. This is gross to me. But we do have very, very clean lows at 63.57. So I don't think that's going to get hit today. I really don't even know when that would. I mean, look what we've done. We had lows outlined already earlier in the week. Well, actually, that was on Friday of last week. We met that yesterday. We're below an old low, but we also created another set of equal lows. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen here. And then with New Zealand, very similar story in terms of lows here. I mean, if this launches higher, that's fine, but these lows are still going to be left open at 58.60. And then, yeah, like I said, British pound, I don't even know what to do with this. I have no idea. The daily's been trading lower consistently. Nothing over here, I mean, really to me is worth looking at all that much. I mean, what is over here? I guess you're in a monthly down candle, I guess, but okay. What is that going to do for me? I mean, this looks terrible. Fast to go down, slow to go higher, so I wouldn't want to long this at all. You know, like we just said, the dollar was reaching above those highs. British pound trading lower, and I don't know where it wants to stop. I'm not going to try and call a low for this market. I mean, it looks like we took that low, but don't have anything specific or high probability for either one of those other than the lows on Australian dollar. Yeah, I agree, Naruto. I agree. Not the other way around. Stock market sell off, bringing strength to dollar. I think the dollar is what sets the, like, I think the dollar is what does it. Like, for me, I'm not saying that because the indices are lower, the dollar is higher. I'm saying indices are lower because the dollar is going higher. Like, it's like the dollar, the indices are subordinate to the dollar, is what I'm saying, not the other way around. That's what I believe. I mean, it's going to be an intermarket relationship either way, but if your bias on the dollar is long and indices are setting up shorts, look what we did yesterday. Remember I was telling you I was shorting yesterday, right? Based off of this right in here. Look where it's at today. It's not just lower, it's a fucking monstrosity of a move lower. You know what I mean? And it sucks I didn't hold that, but what was the bias? I didn't look at this like I should have. So I definitely fucked up. But I should have noticed this gap down here. I should have noticed that, and I didn't. So that was, you know, me being a goober. So with the dollar index saying, hey, we can trade above this high, and then I just showed you, well, it could reach up as far as even up in this area. Right at the 105.30s almost. So with that dollar rallying, and then the indices lower in alignment, that to me is like what does it. Okay? Not the other way around. But that's just my personal belief. I mean, I could be wrong. Who the fuck am I supposed to ask to verify that? Who am I supposed to just call? Fucking Goldman Sachs? The central banks? Jerome Powell? Be like, hey, bro. Does the indices push the dollar, or does the dollar push the indices? Who am I supposed to ask that? You know what I mean? Knowledge is in power. Knowledge creates choice, and the ability to choose is power. Christopher is short on British pound. Well, it's been trash, so that's probably going well for you. Huh. So we have a slight difference here. And this is why I have a screen. This is why I have a screen specifically for this shit, because I don't want to sit here and swap. I just want to be like, okay, what's going on? What's taking place? And this is why I have this screen here. So I can be like, okay, what are they doing now? Like, what is happening right now? And it looks as if it wants to run these lows. Nasdaq. I know it's not a straight line, but if one of them runs the lows, Dow is higher, so I'm ignoring that right now. I'm saying if the S&P doesn't run lows, if the Nasdaq does, but the S&P doesn't, that would signify manipulation on the side of Nasdaq. I think that would show accumulation for the S&P. And I think that would be a bullish signature. I think that would be a bullish signature. This dollar rally, but I heard some economists predict the typical September sellout to push the dollar higher in Q4. Oh, I don't know, man. I don't listen to economists. I listen to price. Price will tell you more than anything anybody ever will, especially me. Anybody. So what I'm saying is this low here on Nasdaq, if that runs, but S&P doesn't run the lows, I think that would be a bullish signature for S&P. I think that would be manipulation for Nasdaq to probably go higher. So I tell you what. Screenshot the Nasdaq on a 5-minute time frame here. I'm gonna do the same thing. I would screenshot that here. Right? Again, I'm not saying long, I'm not saying short, I'm not saying even to trade it at all. All I'm saying is I want to see later on if this ends up being a stop run to go higher, right? Like a little scoop, like a little whoop-de-whoop. That's what I'm looking for. Unless they both come down here, then it's like, all right, whatever. Okay? But it looks a little interesting. It's a little shaky right now at the current moment. And the Dow has not seen, we have not seen a willingness for the Dow to trade lower like the other two are. Are you surprised though? Because remember, these two levels here, you know what that is. That's the daily gap, which I said this could probably be responsive. If not for today, maybe for this week, probably both. Oh, kids, 1 month doctor's appointment. Very nice. I hope everything is good. I hope all is well for baby Pips. But yeah, we'll probably go ahead and end it here. I mean, I'm not gonna spend 3 hours on another stream today. I'm just not gonna do it. It's been a while since we've done one of those, but I don't have it in me to do that today. All right. So, with that being said, y'all be good. Tomorrow for the Discord, I'll hop on at 12. We'll take a look at the markets. We'll hang out for a bit. If you're not in the Discord, you can get in by being a tier 3 member here on the Smart Money Stoics channel. That'll get you in the Discord. All right. If you're a tier 1 or 2, you always have the option to upgrade. If you don't want to, that's fine. But the Discord is for you guys, for the community to get to know each other, share ideas, talk to one another, all that good shit. You know, plus the other, you know, announcements and charts and whatever else that I drop in the Discord. Okay? So, yeah, y'all be good, man. For everyone else, I'll see you guys here on Friday. Same time, same place. And then tier 2 and higher, tomorrow, I'll do the Thursday market review. All right? So stay blessed. Don't get your face ripped off. And I'll see you next time.